New Orleans has got to be one of the coolest cities in the world. It's just not like other places. The word unique is overused, but New Orleans really is. So people love to go to New Orleans. Hard to go there now, particularly the French Quarter, because it's just too dangerous. And that's a factual statement. New Orleans now has the highest per capita murder rate of any city in the United States. So obviously local media noticed that. Here's one report from a local news channel.
220 homicides so far this year. That's more homicides in the first 9 months of 2022 than all of last year. As New Orleans makes national headlines for becoming the murder capital of the country, Raphael Goeneche with the Metropolitan Crime Commission points to the amount of non-fatal shooting victims so far this year, 454.
So this is an emergency. There's no bigger. It's even worse than global warming or COVID. People are dying at a greater rate than any place in the United States. So if you were in charge of New Orleans, you would respond immediately. You come up with some plan to stop the murders. But here's how the actual mayor of New Orleans, LaToya Cantrell, responded.
News headlines spread around the world about New Orleans being the murder capital of the U.S.
I do not embrace that at all. I don't embrace it because, one, that is the data even used for that is more of a governmental term for that. It's not based on what's actually happening.
In spite of national and world headlines showing New Orleans' murder rate is 17 times higher than New York City's, the mayor downplayed the severity of the problem.
Mostly all of them are aligned by people who know one another, not random at all.
Oh, they knew one another, so it doesn't matter if they're dead. But the best part is when she said, can someone be that dumb and be a mayor of a city? Apparently. She said she just doesn't embrace the data. She doesn't believe them. Apparently they're just crisis actors pretending to be dead. Jeff Landry is the Attorney General of the state of Louisiana. He's just announced he's running for governor. He joins us tonight. Mr. Landry, thanks so much for coming on. I don't think I've ever seen a mayor or a leader of anything respond to murder statistics by denying that they're real.
Well, I'll tell you, Tucker, the one thing's for sure is I love Louisiana. And that's the reason we're running for governor. As Attorney General 7 years ago, back when Mitch Landry was the mayor, I called this problem. New Orleans was headed down this road. Both him and this mayor refused to address the problems in the city. We've got a police department that is severely both underfunded and undermanned. And the statistics are real. This is not like shoplifting statistics. This is not like petty crimes. These are real people that are dying in the state, in the city of New Orleans, and it affects our economy. And it affects New Orleans. The place is being run like a third world country. And we don't deserve that.
Well, I've been to a lot of third world countries that are far better run than New Orleans and a whole lot safer. So why doesn't the state just take it over? I mean, just call it racism or something and just move in and take control of law enforcement in New Orleans.
You know, it's a great question. One of the biggest problems we're having in that city is under a federal consent decree. You know, right now in America, the 3 cities with the highest homicide rate are all under federal consent decrees. And federal consent decrees are basically a federal takeover of your or that city's police department. It's something that I've been complaining about. It's something that as governor, we're going to do something about. And so that's the way you start to take back control of these cities, is by instituting local and state control in law enforcement. That's a big problem.
So the feds took over control of those police departments because someone yelled racism, and the net effect is more dead black people? How does that work? How is that fighting racism?
It's not. In fact, again, St. Louis, New Orleans, Baltimore, again, all 3 are cities that are under federal consent decrees. Those are things that, as Attorney General, we've been fighting to try to wrestle the federal government away from that. The one thing that in Louisiana, we have one of the most powerful executive departments in the country. The governor is extremely powerful. He has the ability to bend that city to his will, and he just does it.
Yeah, well, he should, because it's not, self-governance is not working under that mayor. That's
well, we will.
Attorney General Jeff Landry of Louisiana, thank you.